Today, companies are facing the massive challenge of controlling the exponential growth of information, while at the same time dealing with a proliferation of laws and regulations, as well as more sophisticated and vigilant enforcement of those regulations. All types of organizations are faced with the need to get control of content, while providing their users with simple, transparent, and rapid access to content on demand, so critical business decisions can be made effectively and efficiently. We often hear from our partners that they're struggling to keep up with the volume of content and the associated regulations. They're asking questions like, how do we manage the massive growth in content over multiple repositories? And how can we keep our organizations efficient by controlling all the unstructured content? To address these needs and many others, we created Recall Crystal. Recall is an $850 million company, and we've been exclusively focused on information management for more than 20 years, providing solutions across all industries in 23 countries in the areas of information governance, document storage, data protection, RFID tracking, secure destruction, scanning, and business process workflow. So how does Recall solve the problem of controlling the exponential growth of information for you? With Recall Crystal. Recall Crystal is a suite of technology solutions offering companies superior compliance with legally defensible best practices, all while providing significant cost savings, rapid implementation, and greater visibility to information across disparate systems and jurisdictions. Recall has created industry-specific solution accelerators with legally sufficient policies and retention schedules, so we're ready to kickstart your information governance program. The cornerstone of Recall Crystal is the industry-leading Manage Anywhere governance platform, powered by RSD Glass, that governs information across more than 40 repositories out of the box. All major content repositories are supported, including SharePoint, Documentum, and FileNet. Legacy or custom repositories are also supported through our standard development toolkit. Recall Crystal creates a unique blend to support complete governance of your organization's information, with the help of cutting-edge ROT removal for your redundant, obsolete, and trivial content, as well as auto-classification technologies. We also provide hosting, legal hold management, and physical records management, among others. By using Recall Crystal, your organization directly benefits from cost savings, risk mitigation, and increased efficiency. In today's demo, we present Recall Crystal's Manage Anywhere governance platform powered by RSD Glass. Recall Crystal's Manage Anywhere governance platform provides all the tools necessary to design, implement, and measure the effectiveness of a complete information governance program. Today we'll show you three components of this platform: Governance Dashboards, Policy Manager, and Governance Manager. The first component of Crystal that we will look at is Governance Dashboards. Surprisingly, today many organizations do not have access to the critical information related to their corporate records. This is primarily due to the lack of connected view of all repositories holding their physical and electronic records. Recall Crystal solves this issue with Governance Dashboard by providing visibility into multiple repositories and by providing historical and forecasting information. Our dashboard is fully customizable to your organization's unique needs. In this demo, we will show you a few examples of frequently used tools that can be easily configured for your company. The top panel of this view provides statistics on all your records, physical or electronic, total storage of your electronic content, and relevant cost statistics around the storage of information in your organization. The lower left panel allows the IT group to view current and projected storage numbers that will help them to forecast future storage needs. It also provides an example of a what-if scenario to compute the value of the enforcement of more aggressive retention schedules. If, for example, we change the average retention of records from 10 years to 7 years, we can immediately see the impact on our current and future storage requirements. The center panel provides three different views that would be relevant to records managers. The first view shows the number of electronic versus physical records under governance. The refresh button at the top right of the graph allows you to toggle through other views. The second view compares cataloged versus declared records, and the third view shows total record count by jurisdiction. The right panel shows an example of a view that gives the legal group the ability to evaluate risk based on the number of legal holds over past years compared to current year. This helps in ensuring that the correct number of records are on hold at any given time, and more importantly, that the records are available for disposition per applicable retention policy when the holds are lifted. So as you can see, with Recall Crystal's Manage Anywhere technology, departments such as IT and legal now not only can have a single view into many of their different systems, but also run analyses in ways not previously available. The second component of Crystal that we are going to look at is Policy Manager. Policy Manager not only provides you with the centralized control over all laws and regulations applicable to your organization, but also helps you manage any future changes and thereby keeps you compliant against ever-increasing enforcement of laws and regulations. You can start by creating a centralized master classification that defines all types of records in your enterprise as well as their associated retention policies. With Policy Manager, you can collaboratively create a complete hierarchical view of your record structure. Once you identify specific classifications for each record type, you will enter associated policy information. The definition of life cycle in Policy Manager is more than just the declaration and disposition of a record. A careful management of the life cycle of a record is very important since the retention policies often necessitate a life cycle event to start the retention clock. In most cases, it is not known when that event will be triggered. For example, when creating an employment contract record, the departure date of the employee is unknown but is needed for the proper retention and disposition of the record. We can establish events that occur within your enterprise and then associate those events with the life cycle of applicable records. For disposition, we can choose from a variety of options. The most common way to dispose of a record is with validation. If we look at the disposition with validation, you can see that we have the ability to create an approval chain that allows all concerned parties to confirm or reject the disposition of a record. Another lifecycle event that may be defined is the moving of the record from one repository to another. This allows you to automatically move and govern your records to a different repository than where they were created. To control cost, you may want to move content to less expensive storage after a period of time. If the records in this record class will be subject to a large number of searches, you may choose to index the content in order to facilitate this. In this case, the indexing happens immediately upon the capture of the record. After a period of time, the requirement to search based on the content may slow down to the point where you can dispose of the content indexing information in order to save on disk space and maximize search performance. If this record class has associated laws and regulations that should be enforced as part of the life cycle, you should define them here. We can associate a law to this record class simply by dragging it from the list into the Selected section. Policy Manager also gives you the ability to maintain a list of applicable laws and regulations. This list may include entries from the legal department or may be populated from a third-party vendor feed. Crystal is capable of handling legal feeds from almost any vendor. This unique feature of Crystal keeps your policies evergreen and relevant all the time. If we look at a specific law, such as the Dodd-Frank Act, you can see the information that we are able to track. This includes a record disposition schedule if applicable. Now let's take a look at Governance Manager, where the policies that you create in Policy Manager are implemented and enforced across all content repositories in your organization. In this demo, we will highlight file plan management, defensible disposition, search, and legal hold features of the Governance Manager. The Governance Manager is the key to implementing, enforcing, and auditing their policies over all records, while helping organizations manage the massive growth in content over multiple repositories. The Governance Manager will organize groups of record classes into specific groups called file plans. File plans are defined by the specific jurisdictions applicable to your organization. In this case, they are geographic or country-based, but the file plan may be defined in any way that is needed. This may be by country, state, division, plant, office location, or any other logical grouping applicable at your company. Recall Crystal supports all languages and automatically utilizes the language settings of your browser. You can see here that the New York file plan contains a small subset of the records in the master classification. This list represents all of the different record classes that are applicable in New York. Navigating to a specific location in the file plan shows us that we can create folders inside of this record class to hold different types of this record. Here you can see folders for all the different types of contracts. If we click on Supplier Agreements, you can see that we have a number of records identified here. We are looking at a number of different contracts. All are types of supplier agreements. It's important to note that these records will most likely be in different repositories. First in SharePoint, second in FileNet, third in a Recall warehouse, etc. This is because Recall Crystal provides you the ability to govern all records regardless of where they exist in the enterprise. If I click on one of these agreements that I know is an electronic record, we can see that this record is made up of a single component. A record may contain multiple components the way a contract may be represented by multiple documents. This component is in fact a PDF. If we want to, we can request a visualization of the record from the repository where it is stored. All we need to do is click Visualize. If we look at the metadata for this record in the right panel, we can see the information that was entered or imported about this record when it was ingested in Recall Crystal Governance Platform. You can see that the contract ID here is SunPower 4, which happens to be present in SharePoint. Let's look now at the defensible disposition feature of Recall Crystal Governance Manager. Let's see what happens if we send an event to Crystal telling it that this contract has been terminated. This record class has a retention policy that requires the records to be disposed of 7 years upon termination. We will dispose a record, SunPower 4, by manually triggering the lifecycle event contract termination. In the production environment, after Recall Crystal is made aware of the contract termination, it will automatically start the disposition workflow 7 years after the contract is terminated. Select Contract Termination from the scroll-down list in the List of Events field. When this is triggered, you will see that the disposal of this record is now scheduled. In production environment, this trigger will start a disposition approval workflow to obtain necessary approvals. If we look at scheduled actions, you can see that this record is now scheduled to be deleted when the scheduler runs tonight. Let's go ahead and manually execute the scheduled event now. If we return to Supplier Agreements, you will see that SunPower 4 has been removed from Crystal. The record has also been removed from the original content repository, SharePoint, it resided in. It is also important to note that the disposition event was recorded in the audit log, so that it can be tracked and audited. The next feature of Governance Manager that we are going to look at is its ability to search for content across multiple repositories from within the Governance Manager. Suppose we have a legal matter that requires us to find all information related to a vendor named Conergy and place them on legal hold. We can enter Conergy in the search box and immediately see all content that contain that string. The content displayed in the search results here have the word Conergy present either in the metadata or included in the text of the documents. We support full content indexing. Please note that Governance Manager searches across all content repositories in your enterprise, as well as the physical records management system. The search results display a unified view of all content related to Conergy in your organization. Recall Crystal also provides a very convenient way to apply holds on records right from the search results. Applying legal hold has never been so easy. You can apply hold on any number of records found in your search results with a single click. This unique legal hold management feature propels Recall Crystal way ahead of other information governance products. Let's select a record and click Hold to put this record on hold. Once a record is placed on hold, the normal disposition schedules are bypassed or overridden until all holds have been removed. As you can see, our Governance Manager is a powerful tool that allows you to centrally manage your file plan of records from multiple repositories, automatically enforce defensible disposition, search all your records across multiple repositories, and apply holds on them when necessary with ease never before seen. In conclusion, Recall Crystal provides you with all necessary tools to design, implement and measure the effectiveness of a robust information governance program. Governance dashboards allow you to control your organization's information. The health of your information governance program is now a click away. Policy Manager keeps your organization compliant and policies up to date in a constantly changing legal and regulatory environment. Governance Manager automatically enforces your governance policies across disparate systems and repositories. Our governance platform not only helps you control the total cost of information, but also helps mitigate risk and gain efficiency in the organization through rapid access to your information when you need it, no matter where it resides. Thank you for your time. Please contact us today.